YouTube, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Cam show. In this one, we are going over both nights of WrestleMania and also the Raw after Mania. So this is my review on all three nights. Okay, so we're gonna discuss everything that happened over this past 3 days. Sorry I couldn't get a WrestleMania review like soon as possible. I wasn't really in the area or home to record anything. And I don't know how to do a watch along yet. One day when I figure out how to figure out the details of how you go about making watch along videos and how to not get copyrighted, because I tried once and my whole Elimination Chamber live stream is gone. Gotta figure it out. But with that being said, of course, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Rob Cam. All my information will be in the description below. Make sure you leave a like on this video, and of course share to your friends and just help the kid out. Right now we at 1,100, about 120 subs, so let's get that sub count up. Let's get a like goal, at least 10 likes on this video. I will be very much appreciated. But without further ado, let's get into night one of WrestleMania. All right, you see on the screen, night one beginning with Jey Uso versus Gunther. If I had to describe the match as any other Jey Uso and Gunther match that we've seen in the past, it just ended with Jey Uso actually winning, which I didn't think personally they were going to pull the trigger on, just because I didn't think that to me it would have been, story-wise, for me it would have been beneficial if Jey Uso kind of chased a little more, and like if we let it like play out until at least SummerSlam, which I know a lot of people are impatient with stuff, so I guess you could give him the title on WrestleMania. I would have let it like played out a little bit longer and kind of made it the main event of SummerSlam. Like, if you're not gonna give them the main event of WrestleMania, at least give him like the main event of SummerSlam. But I guess I get why he won at WrestleMania, because it has to solidify, even though it doesn't really need to, but it kind of does need to reestablish itself as Royal Rumble winners actually going to WrestleMania and winning the title. So that's something we kind of have to reestablish. But so I'm not mad that he won. Just didn't really expect it, and I really didn't expect him to win. Night one, I would say, was more so fanfare of a night versus I think the whole WrestleMania as a whole, if I'm being honest, was fanfare. I think night one was definitely fanfare, really, because I feel like a lot of stuff that I was hearing through the IWC was like, some of y'all were very accurate on y'all reviews. I just had a Russell Fun just fucking commented on one of my videos too. I don't know if y'all can see that. He said I was right on his Seth Rollins prediction. So shout out to Russell Fun, because you definitely was. Yeah, he said he called it. I don't know if y'all can see that. But shout out to Russell Fun. Go check out his channel. But yeah, we got Jey Uso, new World Heavyweight Champion match. Like I said, is any other Gunther versus Jey Uso match. Y'all didn't really miss nothing crazy. Besides Jey Uso making Gunther topped out, which I'm not gonna critique that. It could have, like, he could have faded out a little longer and passed out, not really tapped out. It would have been better if Gunther tapped out. It would have made him look a little stronger in defeat versus him just applying the sleeper and just tapping out quick like that. No. And that led into something on Raw. But we're gonna talk about that when we get to the Raw side. By the way, these slides are not in order. If I go to the right, yeah, see, yeah. So we're just gonna go backwards just because we don't want to. I want to save that one for last. All right, so we had El Grande Americo versus Rey Fenix, which was actually supposed to be I was about to say Rey Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio, but unfortunately Rey Mysterio was injured. I don't know how badly, or was it something so they could get Rey Fenix into the slot of Rey Mysterio? I don't know, but Chad Gable and Rey Fenix definitely did. I said Chad Gable. El Grande Americano definitely put on a show with Ray Phoenix. It was a technical and high flying masterpiece. Both guys just showing their technical skills, grappling skills. I haven't seen that. Actually, I can't wait to talk about the Raw, because Raw was fire. I feel like this was a great match. I definitely saw El Grande Americano coming out with the win, just because he kind of needs some momentum. And his counterpart, who's also a part of the storyline, also needs momentum in Chad Gable. So I guess if El Grande Americano wins, Chad Gable wins as well. So yeah, it's a good start for him to build this character. Let's not act stupid. We all know this is Chad Gable. But let's play along at the same time, you know what I'm saying? But we all know this is Chad, and it's a much needed win for him. And I don't know where they're going with this El Grande Americano stuff. I don't know how long, but hopefully Chad, it gets him some wins underneath his belt until they get to the point where I guess they have a mask versus mask match of him losing his mask possibly to one of the luchadors on the roster. So shout out to El Grande Americano, much needed win. And shout out to Ray Phoenix, because he definitely did put on a great showing against him, showed off his skills. Of course, I don't think he was going to get the win. I don't even think Rey Mysterio was going to win, honestly. It was more so needed for El Grande to win. So congratulations to El Grande. Jade Cargill versus Naomi, in my personal opinion, was better than Tiffany. I can't talk right now. I just woke up. Forgive me. It was better than Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, in my personal opinion. This one was a fun little match between the two. Naomi's entrance is new, so they gotta have to tweak some of the stuff. I don't think the music really. Y'all could have put a different music. I don't know if she requested that. Hopefully, I'm not complaining. If she requested that, cool. But if she didn't request that theme song, y'all need to like find something that adds to a mad black woman coming from a black man. Y'all need something like more edgy, but for a black woman. That's more so for somebody else. That don't fit her. But it was a cool song. It just, to me, didn't fit her. And y'all kind of got her entrance with the disco ball on the bottom of the ring still. I'm like, bro, y'all might as well just put caution tape. If y'all have caution tape everywhere else on the LD screen, y'all could at least did that part for her too. Kind of make it look presentable and neat. If y'all gonna go with this with that presentation of her heel character. I did like Jay's entrance with the whole weather report, and then she came down. I like how the top of the WrestleMania stage, it was like her as she was coming down, and it came down to her entrance. That was kind of fire. But the match itself, as you expect, was a great match. Naomi, one of the best wrestlers on the women's roster, in my opinion, one of the better wrestlers, I would say. Definitely made Jade look like $1,000,000. And Jade herself held her own in her first ever singles match. I believe not her first ever singles match, but her first singles match on a WrestleMania stage. Did hold her own, and she did deliver one of the, some people say the spot was botched with the power bomb. It didn't look botched to me. It probably just didn't like go as smooth as possible, but Jade honestly made it look like she did her best with that. And I'm not gonna point any fingers at it. It just, stuff happens, you know. They tried their best with that spot. It looked clean to me. I heard Naomi got injured. I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. If I see her on SmackDown, then I know she's good. But yeah, shout out to Jade Cargill getting the win after beating Naomi. Like I said, I would prefer, for women matches wise, this was not the best women's match, of course, but we talking about one-on-one women matches, this was better than Charlotte versus Tiffany, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sorry to say it wasn't the best women's match. I'm not saying that. I'm saying singles 1v1 women match, it was better than the other one. Hate your ass. So let me stop. Yo, shout out to Jacob Fatu, man. New and the new. Say it with me. And the new United States champion. I already knew this was gonna happen. Yo, great match. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Shout out to LA Knight. Came up through with the I think he had the Maserati pulled up in a nice little car. I don't know. The entrance this year of everybody was more so like, I don't know. Is WrestleMania on a budget? Because the entrances kind of look a little dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have that little, like, some of them was like I remember WrestleManias with some entrances had you going like, damn, this shit better than the match. Like, for me, like, that shit was better than the match. Nah, but I don't know. Some of these entrances was kind of like, it wasn't like WrestleMania feel. It was WrestleMania feel. It's just like they had a budget on what they could do and they dumbed it down so to fit the budget. But anyway, back to the match. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight put on great performance. I'm not gonna go play by play, but I will say one spot where Jacob Fatu tried for his mighty movesault and it was turned into a BFT by LA Knight, and that was to me, in my personal opinion, that was the greatest spot of WrestleMania. Like, that spot alone, bro. The man was in midair flipping and got caught with a BFT, bro. That shit was fire. Hold on. I don't know if it's dropping, but yeah, I hear that fucking explosion. Just know. That was what that was for. That BFT was on spot, right on spot, just clean, smooth. I thought LA was going to win off of that. No, he didn't. Jacob Fatu eventually got the win and is your new United States champion. Let me say this again. I know this is probably not the second match. I forgot what the second match was. I think this is like the third match. I know this match was earlier in the show. This may have been the third match. I think the tag team titles match was after the Jey Uso versus. We're gonna skip that Tiffany Stratton run. Okay, so let's talk about the New Day winning the tag team championships. New Day versus Viking Raiders. Honestly, in my personal opinion, this match could have been on the Raw after WrestleMania or the Raw before WrestleMania. It felt like a Raw ass match. Shout out to both teams for trying their best. War Raiders came out in their little, what's that, Clash of the, what's that game called again? Clash of the Castle or Clash of Clans, whatever game. I used to play that shit. I think it's Clash of Clans. They come out in their little Clash of Clans little outfit, kind of doing something the New Day used to do, coming out with video game characters. So kind of weird to see that because that's usually the New Day's thing. Like I said, this match wasn't spectacular of anything. It just added on to what the New Day needed. They needed some type of momentum, and it's fresh to get how do I say this? The War Raiders tag team run wasn't bad, but it wasn't exciting. It wasn't nothing crazy. So them losing the titles kind of was needed just to freshen up the things on the Raw side, on the tag team division on the Raw side. But like I said, this match could have been saved for the Raw after WrestleMania or the Raw before WrestleMania, because honestly, it wasn't too spectacular. It was a great match. It was an okay match. You know, New Day cheated at the end to win, of course. Kofi Kingston held Ivar, I believe, foot down while Xavier was pinning him. So they kind of hijacked the tag team titles and ran after the match all the way up the stage because they knew they kind of cheated to win. So they had to get the fuck up out of there. But shout out to the New Day, and they are your new World Tag Team Champions. So shout out to the New Day. But like I said, this could have been on a Raw or something. No offense to them. Let's go backwards real quick. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Like I'm missing a match, but hey. Yeah. Okay, so we got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, with Tiffany Stratton still your WWE Women's Champion. Like I said in my prediction video, I did believe Tiffany Stratton was gonna win. only because Charlotte winning does nothing but add to her resume and does nothing for her. Like, she doesn't need to be champion right now. What this does for Tiffany is solidifies her as a main eventer, and also solidifies her as one of the pillars going into the future of the company, by beating one of the current pillar. I want to say Charlotte's really, she's more of a legendary pillar. Like, I feel like the pillars right now is the Rhea, Io, Bianca like generation, and like we got, and Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha and Bailey's like a generation like after that. So they're beating the old guard, the oldest guard there, and Charlotte Flair, benefiting Tiffany way more than it would have just her losing, because it's basically what they should have did with Charlotte and Rhea the first time when Charlotte went after the NXT title. They should have made Rhea beat Charlotte back then, but they didn't. But they got it correct because they learned, well, that was a Vince call, but Vince is not in control and Triple H is not stupid. So Triple H understands that that Charlotte winning was not going to do nothing for her, and it was only going to kill Tiffany Stratton's momentum as a main eventer. If she lost, it would have been the same situation as Rhea Ripley, same exact situation. I'm glad Tiffany win. The match was, like I said, wasn't the best. Not a lot of bad botches, but it wasn't. You could tell that they don't have the best chemistry in the ring, and they did try. Tiffany looked like she got her like into a physical altercation after the match, like a chipped tooth, got a bruise on her head. Like, they looked like they were really trying to hurt each other, and their disdain or dislike for each other kind of showed on the biggest stage. But they held it together, kept their professionalism, and was able to get through the match and deliver something to us. Wasn't the best match, no. Can we get a better match in the future, hopefully, between these two? Because I feel like they're both talented enough to give us that. I feel like I have nothing against Tiffany Stratton. I just feel like she could have stayed at NXT just a little longer, and I felt like Roxanne Perez was more so ready for the spot she's taking right now. In my personal opinion, I feel like Tiffany can use a little more NXT exposure. I think they just kind of brought her up off of just her physique and her beauty and her somewhat able, like, not saying she's not grasping everything quickly, but I feel like she could have benefited more by staying on NXT versus Roxanne Perez, who I felt like would have benefited more from being on a main roster, because she's really like a sponge. Like, Roxanne started at 13 and she's literally a student of the game. That's like, you know, if you love something, and you could tell she loves it, because she started training when she was 13, so she got the love for it. She's a student of it, and you can see she's willing to listen and learn from it. So in my personal opinion, I would have put Roxanne Perez on the roster before Tiffany Stratton, because I feel like Tiffany Stratton could have benefited a little more from being on NXT versus Roxanne. But that's just my personal opinion. But congratulations to Tiffany Stratton, and this picture gotta go because them tatas is looking at me and I keep staring at them. No offense, I'm sorry. She's a beautiful woman. Shout out to Ludwig Kaiser. You feel me? Like, shout out to my guy. And I believe this was this by far. All right, this by far was match of the night. That's one. This was match of the night. Spot of the night had to go to Jago Fatu at LA Knight, and entrance on the night, I don't know. They were all regular to me. I ain't seen nobody do nothing crazy on the entrances in this WrestleMania. I don't know. This WrestleMania felt, how do I explain it? It didn't feel all. It just felt like it didn't feel like WrestleMania. Like, it didn't feel like, wow, ooh, what's that? Oh my God, he came from there. Like, bro, Shawn Michaels came from the heavens, bro. Like, I haven't, like, the entrances last year were way better, but it's like as the years go on, it's like the entrances get like dumber down, dumb down, dumb down, dumb down. But yeah, WrestleMania, you know, the best entrances was this match, in my personal opinion. Seth had the best entrance, hands down, with the flamethrower, and then the mid wardrobe change was fire into the all white. CM Punk entrance was fire. Roman Reigns, you know, he didn't have nothing spectacular, but some pyro. But yeah, but anyway, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the rights to Paul Heyman's heart. Let me stop. Basically the right to be the next Paul Heyman guy, which Seth Rollins is the winner of, and he is now a Paul Heyman guy. I like how this match, like I said, match of the night. Probably, when I say match of WrestleMania as a whole, because that women's match on night 2 was fire, so it's really between those two matches. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but if I had to, I have to think about it. As we go over night 2, I'll give y'all my opinion. But this is definitely candidate for match of the night. It was a great match, great story in it. Basically, Paul Heyman on the side looking stressed out of just who should I fucking help out. I'm not gonna go over every detail in the match because I didn't have nothing to write it down, but we got to the point where Paul Heyman slid in the chair, slid it to CM Punk to hit Roman Reigns, then betrayed CM Punk with a low blow, gave the chair to Roman Reigns to hit Seth Rollins to get his revenge on that Shield spot that they keep going back to. I don't know why we keep talking about that shit. How much time these niggas done hit each other in the back with a chair already? Like, that's been played out too many times already. I'm sorry. Like, I need to move on from that. Let's move on for that. That was 10 years ago. Like, y'all keep doing that little, oh, he hit him in the back with a chair. Like, you know, it's time they hit each other in the back since then with a chair. It's kind of been numerous times. I don't know how many, but hands the chair to Roman. Says, there you go, my tribal chief. Hit him. He's right there for you, my tribal chief. Yes. Gets behind Roman's. Boom, low blows him 2. Pause. Low blows him 2. Roman drops to his knees. Seth Rollins hand out. Paul Heyman hands him the chair, and Seth Rollins beats everybody's butt with the chair and starts, whoops everybody with the chair. Takes out CM Punk, then takes out Roman Reigns with the curve stops for the 1, 2, 3. As CM Punk tries to crawl his way to break up the count, which was a great visual on the side. You can see he was just trying his best to get to break the count, but you know, a little too slow. Not too slow, but little no energy. Too wounded after a battle like that. Getting put through a table. Yeah, there was a spot where Roman Reigns put CM Punk through a table, and I believe Seth Rollins through a table too, if I'm not mistaken. That match, like I said, was definitely a candidate for match of the night, and I would say it's match of the night. You know why? Because the ending. So definitely this was match of the night because the story in it and the match itself was great. So I would say definitely as a whole, blending everything that's needed between storyline and match wise, I definitely will give this match of the night just because, match of WrestleMania as a whole, just because of those two aspects. You got the story in it, which Raw, oh my God, we gotta talk about that. Oh lordy, Raw was fire. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was on the fence about Raw. Come on, yo, last year wasn't that great, but they definitely delivered. But shout out to Seth Rollins, and he is the winner of the main event, which he deserves. I had him losing, I will admit. I didn't see Seth Rollins losing because the only reason why I said Seth Rollins, in my opinion, wasn't going to win, because Seth Rollins is a team player, and he has did the job for so many people, and I feel like he was going to do it again. But I'm glad they gave him the win because he's done so much for not only for the business but for WWE and just that roster, and just holding down the flagship show with no real world championship on that show, being the first inaugural world heavyweight champion, again being the first world heavyweight champion, and carrying that as the workhorse title, and putting the company on his back for so many times, just being a workhorse of WWE. Honestly, Seth Rollins had the best kind of spots in this match, and he just showed out too. He shows you, like, he's a main eventer. He's basically Shawn Michaels when it comes down to it. He's gonna put on a show. He's definitely a showstopper. On the biggest stage, Seth Rollins will perform. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does, and this is much deserved. Shout out to Seth Rollins, and I can't wait to talk about Monday Night Raw, bro. Come on. All right, so let's move on to night 2, and we're gonna talk about that one just now. That shit pissed me off. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna talk about this, the first match of the night, the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Bloody Ripley. Of course, as y'all see on the screen, and still your Women's World Heavyweight Champion, Io Sky. That was kind of racist. I'm sorry if that was racist. I don't mean to be, I'm so sorry. Anyway, shout out to Io. Shout out to all 3 women. That's why I'm saying it was tough to pick match of the night. It was really between this and Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. But if I had to give it to them because story wise, I have to. But this match, to start it off, all 3 women, I knew this was going to be a fire ass match. You got Io, you got Rhea, you got Bianca. In my personal opinion, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to stand on this, the top sellers, I mean selling a move in WWE, are the females, and they are the top sellers. I don't care what nobody said. They will sell the shit. I'm gonna be honest, Seth Rollins is a great seller for the men's side, but besides him and maybe some people at NXT like Nathan Frazier and Axiom, the main roster, as on the men's side, the selling wise, some of y'all is not being some of these girls, bro. Rhea, incredible seller. Bianca, incredible seller. Io, incredible seller. You got your best 3 sellers in a match, best 3 wrestlers and the best 3 sellers on the women's side in one match. They were gonna put on a banger. They just know how they have great chemistry together. They know how to sell. They know how to work a match with their style of wrestling. You got Bianca and Rhea, the 2 powerhouses. You got Io, the high flyer, the technical wizard that she is. And they just made one combination of the 2 styles that was there and made it into something beautiful, with just being able to be taking the lighter spots because she's the lighter one of the 2, and Rhea and Bianca doing a lot of power and lifting because they can lift up Io because she's so light, and them 2 kind of having their little back and forth at moments. But this match was incredible. Shout out to both women. I did not have Io winning. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought they were gonna give the title back to Rhea, and then we're gonna transition, either keep Io and Rhea's story kind of going, which they kind of did tease down Raw. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit when we get to the Raw after WrestleMania side of everything. But I'm glad that they kept their guns with Io, and we could kind of see where the story is going forward, and kind of, they're gonna do Io versus Rhea at some point before we get to SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, they're probably gonna do Bianca versus Rhea 1-on-1, like we all wanted to see at WrestleMania, but they're gonna do it at SummerSlam because it's 2 nights, and Cardi B's hosting. So let me stop. I don't know if that's really reason, but that Cardi B point, don't quote me on that. Who knows? But great match by all 3 women, and it led to Io Sky walking out the victor. And shout out to her. Great match. Next, a Sin City Street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, and the winner was who needed to freaking win, was Drew McIntyre. He definitely needed to walk out with the dub, because if he lost, all of last year would have been for nothing. So, great match between these two Goliaths. Drew McIntyre is a troll, man. My man took his phone and took a selfie mid-match with Damian Priest on the ground. That was funny. That was a fun little spot there. But these two, you know, powerhouses, a little bit of high-flying athleticism by both big men. Great match, great spots. You know, you could see the hatred that they had for each other in this match, and the story that was told, you know, which led to Damian Priest receiving a claymore. That was a wicked claymore between a chair that was wedged in between the ring buckles. So as he was entering back into the ring after falling through 2 tables onto the outside, by the way, he tried to climb back into the ring by the side where the ring steps and the turnbuckle is, and the chair was set up right there, and he got claymore to another fucking state, because that was brutal. Great match between the two. Little underwhelming at times. Great spots, but the match was okay. It wasn't nothing spectacular to make you go ooh ah. Like, there was good spots with the table, the claymore. Damian had a couple great spots, but can't remember right now, but he definitely did have himself a little great spots. But for the most part, Drew was in control for most of the match, and you know, we all know Drew was gonna win. It made no sense for him not to be. It kind of, because this match needed to happen just to wrap up what happened at last year's WrestleMania. We need a conclusion of that with the whole cash-in thing and the Damian Priest, him not being able to be Priest because of people interfering, like he said on SmackDown in his promo, like, you needed people to help you to defeat me. So now that we close that chapter, what is next for Drew McIntyre? I don't know, because apparently both the World Heavyweight title and WWE Championship are on Monday Night Raw, so I don't know. If anybody in WWE happens to stumble onto my video, or anybody that watches me, yo, we need the World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. If you're gonna give the WWE Championship to who we're gonna talk about, the winner, I know y'all seen them already, but we all know it's freaking Tuesday. We all know who won. It's Tuesday. But if you're gonna have both titles on one show, that's bad, because first of all, the WWE title will always outshine the new World Heavyweight Championship because of the history of the WWE Championship. There is technically no history on that World Heavyweight title. It's a clean title. It's a new title. It has probably maybe about 5 champions so far, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe less than that, or a little more than that, but it's not over 10 people, 10 names that have won that title as yet. In my personal opinion, a person like Drew McIntyre, a person like Jey Uso, a person like Gunther, a person like Sami Zayn, a person like Jimmy Uso, a person like Roos, wait, I'm kind of spoiling my whole Raw review, my bad. A person like who could I say, LA Knight, a person like Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Tamataga, some those guys would benefit more if they let the World Heavyweight title be on SmackDown, because it gives those guys a chance to fight for something. It doesn't make sense for 2 of your top titles to be on one show. I feel like y'all should just go back to like 06, 07, 05, 06, 05 to like, when did they switch back? Like 2010, something like that. 2008, 2010, they switched it back to Raw. I need that to go back, because y'all cannot. Now, I'm gonna talk about this on the Raw after WrestleMania review. Y'all cannot have 2 of the top titles on one show, bro. That's not gonna help SmackDown at all. And John Cena, we're gonna talk about it. But shout out to Drew McIntyre. Definitely a good little match. Great little match between the two. It closes the chapter between him and Damian for now. I don't want to see Damian and Drew interact going forward. We kind of need to put Drew more in a prominent spot, and we need Damian at least in the top of the mid card, kind of like adding on to that US title scene for now. And we kind of need Drew in that main event scene as well. This one I'm not gonna touch on too much because I'm gonna talk about it a little more on the Raw after WrestleMania side when we get to that point. But this one was, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I think this match was just these two were put together just for a WrestleMania moment. As Lyra Valkyrie and Becky Lynch team up together against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the WWE Women Tag Team Championship. Like I said, I guess well, let me start with Bayley was attacked earlier in the night. Lyra needed to find a partner, and she happened to find Becky Lynch sitting around at WrestleMania. Said, "Hey, can you do me this favor?" And I don't know if it went out like that, but this was obviously planned. To me, because from the start, I'm gonna break it down a little bit. From the start, why did y'all have Bayley and Lyra on the team? That was mad random. Yeah, and that's the problem with the women's side of the tag team division. I keep putting random tag teams together, so that never made sense to me. The only thing that made sense out of all of it was the IC Women's Championship. If they lost, I felt like Bayley was going to turn on Lyra, but we're going to talk about it a little more because when you look at it, I think I know why Bayley was in that spot and why it turned out to how it turned out. But honestly, I wasn't paying attention to this match too crazy. A lot of people was mad because Liv Morgan lost to Becky again. I'm not We're gonna talk about it a little more because there's more to this that I need to like elaborate on, and we're gonna talk about it during the raw side of things when we get to that point. But shout out to Becky and Lyra for winning. We're gonna definitely talk about this whole thing a little more, so I'm gonna keep it we're gonna go keep it brief on that. This one right here, man, I ain't gonna lie. Hold on, I gotta pull up something for y'all, bro, because we gotta listen to. Hopefully I could get it really quickly, because I'm gonna elaborate on this whole Dom winning shit real quick with one of my videos. Cause I don't want people to think I'm gonna be lying. Hold on. Where my videos? Subscribe to the channel, by the way. So I need to hear something real quick. Just so y'all don't think I'll be lying. Cause what I'm about to say. This one's tough. Who that handsome man right there? For the IC championship. Sheesh. Boy, if you don't make up your mind. I honestly I have Braun retaining only because I can't see the other people really taking the title from him right now. I can because it's a fatal forward, and Braun does not need to be pinned to lose his title. I don't mind any of the other three men in Dominic, Finn, and Penta winning. It's just Braun is really like on that level right now, and for him to lose the IC title for one of them when he's been booked as a monster basically in a way, kind of like again. But this is why it's a fatal forward because this is why it's a fatal forward. Fatal forward. I don't know why I can't talk because he doesn't have to be pinned to lose the title. So that's the thing with that. I get to the point. My dark horse in this fatal forward. I have there we go. As my dark horse. If I had to pick somebody else to win, I'm picking Dom. All right, all right. And with that being said, we're gonna talk about that. My bad. Where is it? And with that being said, what the hell? This is 91. Here we go. My dark horse won. My dark horse one, nigga. What you talking about? I knew what I was talking about. I knew Dom. I had a feeling Dom was gonna win, only because it adds on to the storyline between him and Finn. But we're gonna talk about the match he had on Raw. After this, the match was a great match. I wasn't expecting Dom to win, but I had like a slight hunch because of the whole story between him and Finn Balor and the jealousy part of that and their little problem with Finn trying to win the IC title. So and Braun kind of doesn't need the IC title right now, and right now I think Braun as of right now is in a better position without the IC title, in my personal opinion. I honestly thought that Dom was gonna win. That's why I put him as my dark horse to win. I didn't see Penta winning because I felt like it was too early for Penta to really win on his own. Not saying he won't. It's kind of not like a Motor City Machine Gun situation. It's not kind of like that. But even though they won their they won on the first night of their debut. This would be like Penta been in the WWE since like January, so it would have been a little different, but kind of similar in a way. Not really, but just being your first year and winning a title that quickly. That's what I'm trying to elaborate to. Like, but anyway, shout out to Dirty Dominic Mysterio for winning the IC championship. I really do, and his pop that he got when he won was good too. I feel like where we're going with this is Dominic is going to be. I don't want him to be babyface, but he might turn babyface. But I want him to be like how he is now, but just with the crowd behind him. It's just like he doesn't need to be like a babyface. He could be like a tweener, in my opinion. But to turn him babyface, I don't know. Like I really can't see it. Like the reason why I can't see it because I feel like it's better for him to be not really a heel, but like I said, a tweener. But if anything, a heel, because it adds to the dynamic of him being him ending up being the leader of Judgment Day. Because I know that's where we're headed. Let me add a little music. My bad, I forgot to get the music busting. Pause. Down a little bit. All right, my stomach hurts. And yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go in the direction of Dom. Obviously, they're gonna do Dom and Finn being kicked out of the Judgment Day eventually, to where we're gonna get Dom as the full-time leader. We're gonna talk about a little more about this in the Raw side of things. Next match, we had a Prom match between Randy Orton and a mystery opponent who ended up being, say his name, and he appeared. It was Joe Hendry, and it lasted about I would say about 5 minutes was a match. It was a fun little spot, a fun little moment for Joe Hendry. His pop was crazy too. The crowd were crazy, but I feel bad because I think Karrion Kross did deserve to be the one and have a little WrestleMania moment. Honestly, I think Kross would have benefited more by challenging Randy Orton. He win or lose, he would have benefited more from challenging Randy Orton. I don't know why they picked Joe Hendry. To me, it was kind of like a oh my god, but it's kind of like a why moment, like because you got somebody that in Kross that's like that. He's from Vegas. He can use a little momentum, and he's doing great work on the character side for himself right now. And I don't know why they kind of didn't really give him that opportunity. Maybe Randy has something to say about it, or maybe not. I'm not gonna put that in the air. But anyway, it was Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry. Great little funny moments where Joe Hendry does his little I don't know how to call it, like turn around, zoom in, camera shot, and then ended up getting RKO'd while doing that for Randy Orton to win. And then we got Randy Orton doing his own version of it at the end with his pose, which that was fire to me and funny. So it was a little pontoon match. Didn't really last long. Shout out to Joe Hendry, his little WrestleMania moment. But I think Karrion Kross would have benefited a little bit more from being in that spot just because of the work he's been doing, and also he needs the momentum and needs to be booked as he needs to be booked better. Let me just say that he needs to be booked way better. He's been putting the work. He's been putting the work, and I heard he went off on a radio show or a podcast about the situations, told the suits and ties to go F off and blah blah blah. I kind of saw the clip of it. It was kind of, and I like where WWE is doing this stuff where they are now starting to really blur the lines between shit, where you cannot tell if that's a shoot or a work, or if it's real. Like you can't tell no more. Like, and I like how we're starting to do stuff like that. It adds more to the product itself. We need more in that, and we need more like this. WrestleMania honestly didn't feel as big as last year's WrestleMania. We need to make WrestleMania feel important all the time. And this one just felt like a lot of stuff just fell apart in terms of like The Rock and shit like that. Felt like certain things just kept happening. Too much unfortunate things where some perform wrestlers got injured, such as Rey Mysterio, Kevin Owens, and shit happened, so we had to pivot. I feel like Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton would have stole the show because they would have put on definitely a great little match. But stuff happens. I feel like that's why this WrestleMania felt a little dull, because it was so much pivoting happening because of people getting injured and replaced, that nothing was ever like solidified to be smooth enough for them to just go with the original plan. So I felt like that's why this WrestleMania kind of felt a little off. This one, hold on, pause the music, please. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep doing it. No, I'm not gonna keep doing it. We're gonna do it. Now, I'm not a Logan Paul hater. Shout out to Logan Paul. I hate the fact that he beat one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm mad at that. He ain't beat Roman. I don't think he beat Cena. Well, did he face Cena? I don't think he was supposed to face John Cena, supposedly. I don't think he faced John Cena. He ain't beat Roman. I don't think he beat Seth. Anybody that he beat that's been a top guy in this industry, he did not beat. But for some reason, y'all have him beat AJ motherfucking Styles. What are we doing? Why? Why is AJ Styles losing to Logan Paul? AJ Styles of all freaking people losing to motherfucking Logan Paul. I'm sorry. What is Logan Paul going to do after this? Is Logan Paul going to be on? Actually, he wasn't even there. We're going to talk about that just now. He wasn't even on the Raw after WrestleMania. What is he going to do after this? Disappear, come back, try to and talk about what? Like months will go by without Logan Paul. So why the hell did we give him this win? Right? Why did we give him this win? If you want to have Logan Paul win against somebody, have him face Tozawa or Otis and Tozawa. Not no goddamn legendary AJ Styles. You have him face somebody that y'all not too like, that's not in a prominent spot, that's not like it adds to Logan's resume that he beat AJ Styles, but come on. And shout out to AJ Styles, because I would have had Logan Paul beat somebody that just came on the roster. I would have had him if Ray Phoenix lost to Chad Gable. I would have just had Ray Phoenix lose to Logan Paul. I take that back. That's kind of disrespectful to Ray Phoenix. But I don't know, bro. There's the only person I could see him facing and winning is the freaking Miz. Like anybody else would have been like to me would have been disrespectful for him to beat, except for like Tozawa and Otis. But it's like, come on, like they're not gonna put Tozawa and Otis on WrestleMania. Like I said, good on Logan Paul. I'm mad that he actually won. I would rather AJ Styles is a vet. AJ Styles is a legend, and I feel like he should have gotten the dub at WrestleMania just off of that. Out of respect for him and what he's done for this industry, he just needed to be the guy that it's a part timer and doesn't really 100% take the profession. Like I'm with Karrion Kross. Like you can't let the outsider win, and we let Logan Paul win. I'm not even going to talk about this too much. Shout out to AJ Styles and Logan Paul. They had a great little match. I'm upset by this, but like I said, I don't know what it's gonna do for Logan Paul going forward. Like nothing. AJ Styles is one that's gonna be on Raw, on SmackDown, and show up every week and be on the shows. Like, what is this gonna do for Logan Paul? I know what it does for AJ and Karrion Kross. We got their Karrion Kross. They got their little rivalry. Hopefully, can come out of this because Karrion wants to see the old AJ from AJ of last year, the dark side of AJ, probably the lone wolf AJ. Um, the dark AJ. That's who he wants to see. So hopefully we get like a payout out of this on the AJ Styles side and Karrion Kross side of it. But honestly, congratulations to Logan Paul, but I wouldn't have had AJ Styles win. Let me just make sure I went through everything. Yeah, so main event. Whew. What can I say? To be honest with y'all, the main event was it was ass. Wrestling wise, it was ass. And we kind of, as the IWC, we kind of know why it's ass because John Cena at the end of the day is a man of his word. And his word was he's going to ruin wrestling for all of us. And he definitely did with this main event. I know a lot of people are gonna say you guys like I listened to JD a little bit. Shout out to JD from NY. I saw his podcast yesterday. I was watching a little bit of it after the Raw after WrestleMania. He was talking about how we all basically felt like the match was ass, but at the end of the day, I feel like he was saying that the excuse that John Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling isn't an excuse why the match was bad. I honestly feel like yes, that is legit the reason why the match was bad, in my personal opinion, because like John Cena keeps reminding us, he is a man of his word. When he says something, he's gonna do it. That kind of reminds me of me because that's how I approach it too. If I say something, I'm gonna do it. The man said he's gonna ruin wrestling. I legit think he's gonna ruin wrestling as a heel for us. The way they did this match, the moves that he was doing in the match, it was so ass and so bad that I was like, what the hell is this? But at the end of the day, I was scrolling through the comments of people's opinion on this match, and I had to remember to myself the stuff that he's saying right now about wrestling fans being toxic, how we're toxic and shit like that. I had to remember, if I go on this internet on the comment section of this post and complain about this match, he's literally right in a sense. Like what he's saying is right of how we are fickle fans and we don't know what we want, blah blah blah, things like that. He's right. And he definitely kept his word, and he ruined the main event of WrestleMania because he didn't wrestle how people wanted him to wrestle. And honestly, John Cena has said it himself. The reason why he's retiring is because he lost his step. I wasn't expecting John Cena to go out there and put on no 5-star performance at all. I don't know why everybody was. I've been seeing this man lose a step a long time ago. Like I've seen it already. After maybe 2017 was like his last like good, like his match with AJ for the WWE title when he won the 16th whatever year that was probably the last good year at John Cena we had. So I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a little more wrestling wise. I wasn't expecting him to be prime Cena and do a blockbuster or a leg drop off the top rope or the Cody. Like I wasn't expecting none of that. We are looking at an older man whose body is deteriorating, a heel version of himself that doesn't want to give us nothing that we want, and he's not, because he's so serious on his word. Like he's not gonna put on a performance for us because we don't deserve it in a way. And I know a lot of people disappointed by this. I am too. I'm disappointed by the match. I'm not gonna say the match was oh my god amazing, but at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta read into what people are saying, especially now in this era of WWE. What people are saying, they're gonna do what they say. And if John Cena is a heel and he's a man of his word, he's gonna do exactly what he said. He said he's gonna ruin wrestling, and he definitely did. Because that main event was so ass. Um Travis Scott getting involved, no Rock, that added on to why it was ass, because it's like we don't, where's the Rock? That's one. Which a lot of, and I knew Rock wasn't going to be at WrestleMania. Like I don't know why people was banking on him to be at WrestleMania. I knew he wasn't going to be. Travis Scott getting involved, obviously a lot of people are upset by it, but it was needed just so it can add on to the fact that John Cena did not beat Cody clean. Like if John Cena wrestled like that and beat Cody beat Cody clean, y'all would be way more mad than y'all are right now. Because if he literally beat him clean with no interference and no cheating, no hitting the title belt off his skull, and he just wrestled like that and won, y'all would be even more livid than y'all are now. So y'all kind of need to relax and stop complaining. Like what we got is what we got. Was it the best match of the night? No. Could it had been? Did it need to be in the main event? Yes, just for storyline purposes. Could it have started the show? Absolutely. That bullshit could have started the show, but this is for storyline purposes. This is why it was the main event, because there's a story that's coming out of this, and this story is going to carry us on to the rest of, to probably about the end of the year, honestly. That's why I feel like the main event of yesterday had to be, honestly, I was going to say they could have swapped days, but honestly I see why this was on night 2. So I take that back. But that's why we got what we got in the main event of night 1, and it was a banger, and it was match of the whole WrestleMania, in my personal opinion. Let me add the music back. I feel as if John Cena is just doing exactly what he said and just gonna destroy wrestling, or what he said. Shit, I kept saying it. He's gonna ruin wrestling for all of us, and I feel like he's gonna stand on his word and do that. Like I said, the match wasn't great. Everybody was fucking disappointed. I don't know what to say because it was so bad. It was bad, and I feel like it's just a play on to what he's saying. And there's, like I said, JD, like I was watching JD from NY, shout out to him again, and he was going on a little rant about this and saying that's no excuse, but at the same time, you really do have to think about it. Like who we're like, we have to think about who we're talking about. John Cena is literally, when he says he's done with this shit, he's done. Everything he says he's gonna do it, because he's always been a man of his word. I'm not trying to deride or nothing. That I just know what that feels like, to always stand on what you mean and mean what you say. So if he says he's gonna ruin professional wrestling for us, he really does mean that. And he doesn't mean it like he's really, I feel like this whole heel run is really gonna shed some light on us as a fan base, and how we do need to like stop being so, damn, how do I explain it? Like, someone stop complaining. Like, a lot of y'all complain about any and everything. Like, there was a point where yes, we did need to complain in the Vince era, like towards the ending of it, but now we getting someone that's in charge in Triple H and Hunter Helmsley and Paul Levesque that is leading the charge, that's giving y'all what y'all want. Like I said, night 1 of WrestleMania was fan service. Night 2 of WrestleMania was more so for storyline. The only thing on night 1 that's more so was for storyline was the last match. But everything else in between was more so fan service. Nobody wanted Charlotte to win 100%. Y'all would have been mad if she won. Hell yeah. Don't even lie. Y'all would have been mad if she won. Y'all probably would have been mad if LA Knight won. Yeah, I probably would have been mad if Damian Priest won. I would have been mad too. Half of the shit I'm saying, I would have been mad too, a little upset. It would have made no sense. But night one was definitely for y'all, for fan service. Night two was fan service, but also was more so for storyline purposes and to freshen up the scenery. I think, and also in night one with some of the title changes. But if y'all didn't get what y'all want on any night of WrestleMania, besides maybe the main event with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, y'all would be mad. If LA Knight retained, if Charlotte won, if New Day didn't win, well, I don't think nobody cared about that match. That, like I said, that shit could have been on Raw. If Drew McIntyre was to lose, if Jay Uso lost, which I think a lot of people would, I would not care really say because a lot of people's too wishy-washy on that. I wanted Jay Uso to lose off of the strength of story purposes, not because I hate the man. Some of y'all just don't like him. But yeah, if y'all didn't get what y'all wanted, y'all would have probably said this was the worst WrestleMania of all time. But for the most part, y'all got what y'all wanted, y'all got what y'all needed. Y'all just didn't get one thing that y'all needed, and y'all still found a way to complain and be upset. And I think that's why John Cena's acting how he's acting towards the fans, because y'all are never satisfied. Don't get me wrong, I understand where y'all coming from. This match right here was main. What is it, tomorrow, right? Yeah. So this match right here was supposed to be the build up, was supposed to be the excitement of WrestleMania, and it wasn't. I understand the disappointed because I was disappointed too. But at the end of the day, I understand it because one, the man did lose a step, and I see it. I've saw it for the last couple of years. I've seen it. Two, he's a man of his word. He said he was going to ruin wrestling for us. He stood on his business. I never seen John Cena do a big boot in my life until last night, or a kick, something like that. I think it was a big boot, but I never seen him do that till last night. Maybe to reverse line, but just straight up doing it. The shit he was doing last night, it was just like, what the hell? But like I said, it's all part of his plan. So yeah, unfortunately, WrestleMania wasn't the best. Well, that this main event wasn't the best, I should say. Not the whole WrestleMania. WrestleMania as a whole was, to me, was solid. I feel like it was just dumbed down a little bit, and there was a lot of unpredictable stuff that happened that they couldn't control, like with injuries and people not showing up, or obligations getting canceled to certain people, aka The Rock, Kevin Owens going out with injury. Bailey, I don't know if her injury is just kayfabe or not. I feel like it was kayfabe. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Or actually, matter of fact, we're going to make this my WrestleMania review video, all night one and night two all in one video, and then we're going to upload another video where I talk about the Raw after WrestleMania. So we're going to do that 2 separate videos. So be on the lookout for that. That should be right after this, because I'm going to record it right after this. But overall, I think WrestleMania 41 was solid for what it was. And I can't wait to see where all these new stories and all these new champions and things like that go moving forward, because I feel like we're gonna get a lot of payoff from this. And yeah, wasn't the worst. Was it better than last year? No. But was it worse? Was it bad? No. You probably had, like I said, there was too many things that happened that they couldn't control, like injuries and people not showing up to the to add on to it. Was it better than last year? Absolutely not. It was not better than last year's WrestleMania. Last year's WrestleMania was probably one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. This one was probably like I said, there was too many last minute changes, and it just wasn't enough time to really build on to what was needed besides the main storylines, in which are CM Punk and the two Shield brothers and John Cena and Cody Rhodes. But all in all, I did enjoy WrestleMania, even though I had to watch it back a few times because I wasn't here. I was enjoying myself with a couple of friends. Shout out to y'all, and I had a great little weekend, and still kind of recovering from that. Anyway, shout out to shout out to y'all. As always, shout out to everybody supporting the channel. I appreciate everybody that's new coming onto the videos. Thank you for being patient with me as I'm growing and learning how to adapt and do this a little more professional. I'm gonna try to stop slurring my words and trying to, say things properly. But I'm from New York, so we kind of talk fast. We kind of talk too fast, and then you gotta slow down a little bit. And I'm gonna fuck with y'all. But yeah, that kind of does play a part to it, because I be talking to people sometime a little bit from upstate New York, and I talk, and they be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Damn, I gotta slow down because I'm talking way too fast for people." Like, but that's my bad. So if y'all understand me, appreciate y'all. And I appreciate everybody subscribing, all the likes, all the support, all the advice too that some of the bigger channels have given me to go on forward. If y'all seeing my stuff, even though I'm reacting to y'all stuff, so shout out to y'all, and I appreciate y'all for letting me to use y'all platform to add on to mine or to help build mine. So I always appreciate that, and that's why I always say, yo, everybody's information that I watch, react to, or whatever I'm doing, their information will always be in the description, because support is free, and that's something I stand on. Like, this man stand on what he said, I'm gonna stand on what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, support is free. So with that being said, I'll rate this WrestleMania a solid 8. This WrestleMania was an 8. It wasn't a 9. Last year was a 10. I would say this is more of a 8, a solid 8. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. And with that being said, yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Your new undisputed WWE champion, the last real champion, the 7th. What did he say? We're gonna talk about it Raw. So I can't wait to talk about the Raw after WrestleMania. So be on the lookout for that video, because it's literally gonna come up right after this, because that's what I have to do. I was gonna do the videos all in one, but we're already at an hour, and I know y'all attention span. Y'all not gonna stay here probably for the whole of this video. Let's keep it a stack here, people. Yeah, but thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate y'all all. As always, remember to please keep doing your thing and make it make sense. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.